Hello guys, this is Mongolia's first English entertainment talk show named Inspired by ZAYA. For me, I didn't study English abroad, but through my really bad English, I just want to proudly introduce Mongolian really educated, intellectual, multifaceted young representatives. But today, our viewers are really wondering that why am I standing here in front of Genghis Khan International Airport? Because this episode is actually a really special episode, because very first time for Inspired by ZAYA talk show, we are inviting foreign guests. Very first time I mentioned, so I'm waiting my guest. Actually, she's coming from Australia. Let's see together who this is.
Can I try that again?
Intoxicating beauty light, ruby red flowers in my eyes.
Everywhere that I go, like the
Okay, Allyson, 4 years ago, you came here in Mongolia like this.
Can you believe it?
So could you please share the first memory of that you come here in Mongolia?
Gosh, we came 4 years ago. It was just before Sagansar. I had never experienced something so cold, a place so cold. The airport was packed with people. I had no idea what to expect, but the first thing I remember was the biting cold when I walked out that door, just like I did today.
Yeah, at first, did you see that blue sky?
You know what, I can't remember if I saw the blue sky. I was too busy watching my kids and I was a little bit weary at first. I didn't know that the sky was so beautiful, so I didn't look up. But I think I was worried about the kids. And as soon as I stepped out and I found my kids, I don't know, I discovered my new home, but it took me perhaps the first 3 months to really adapt. But as I walked out today, I can see the beautiful Boltan mountain, and it's nice that it's clear today. It's not so cold. It's probably only minus 25.
Yeah.
It's nothing.
It's nothing for you, right? Okay, Allyson, I just want to ask one question is that, did you have any specific reasons to come in Mongolia?
Well, yes, my husband works for an Australian company, and when we lived in Australia, we wanted an adventure. And we got a little bit sick of the normal suburban routine, and the chance for him to come to Mongolia popped up, and there was no hesitation in our decision to come. It was in Australia you would say it was a no-brainer. We just said, yep, let's go. Yawi.
No-brainer. Okay, so by your eyes, how the Mongolia changed?
Wow, I mean, this is exactly the same. I see there's a man inside who sells cards, and he comes out and he tells you it's my birthday today, and he tries to sell you cards. And I saw him in there today, and yeah, the same face. I actually know a lot of the people who work in immigration now. So before coming out here today, I had a great chance to see a lot of my friends inside.
Okay, Allyson, you are today my talk show's really honored guest. Okay, let's go here. Let's go somewhere nice and have a chat, okay? Okay, let's go. Okay, Allyson, it is so nice to see you and it's so nice to have you. Okay, Allyson, what do you think about Mongolia? I heard that you really love Mongolia, and you already mentioned that this country inspires me a lot, and you love this country all of your heart. What is the main reason of that?
You know, I've tried to work this out many times, right? I can't describe in words how much I love this country, but I think one of the reasons for my love of Mongolia is my life before coming to Mongolia was very nomadic.
Nomadic.
I was. I think of myself as a global nomad. I was born in America to a Chilean mother.
Oh, you're mixed, right?
Yeah, total. I'm a total mix. I had this big identity crisis.
Okay.
And I lived in Argentina as a kid.
Uh-huh.
And then when I was 15, I moved to Australia. So never really growing up in Australia.
Uh-huh.
And after that, I studied. I traveled around the world, always trying to find where I belonged. And for some reason, when I got off the plane at Genghis Khan Airport 4 years ago, I don't know, something happened. It clicked. Maybe
really?
I must have read too many Marco Polo stories and adventures.
yeah,
you know,
yeah.
and,
I
you know,
see.
I just love it. I've had so many adventures here, made so many good friends, and it something clicked in my heart.
Ah, really?
So,
Okay.
yeah.
So I think that you really like adventure, you know?
Oh.
So you traveled a lot around Mongolia?
I have been to 20 AMEX. Horen Mongol AMEX Yausen. The only I have not been to Gobi Altai,
I see.
but I shall get there. And,
Ah.
actually, a few months ago, I went by myself to Ovs AMEX, and it was brilliant. I loved it. I went in winter, and everybody said, "Why, Allison, are you going to Ovs AMEX in winter?" And I just thought, "Why not?" I mean, it's a very remote place to start with.
Yes, it's very remote.
But to go in winter, I mean, I was the only, I didn't see any other foreigners there. I had a wonderful trip. I stayed with Malchin near the Russian border, and it was like out of a storybook. It was brilliant.
Okay,
Yeah.
right. Okay, dear viewers, we are actually heading to Gandam Monastery because that place is a really favorite place of Allison. Ladies and gentlemen, our talk show is reaching to you from Gandam Monastery. That place is our guests' really favorite place to come, right?
Indeed. Yes,
Yeah.
I love it. I come here very often. Rain or shine, especially in winter, it's a lovely place to come because there aren't tourists here. You know, in summer when I come with the kids, you have photographers from all over the world. But now in winter, I mean, there are hardly any people here, and it's very special to me. I particularly love this area here, and I often go in and watch the lamas do their chanting. And
Allison, actually, you are a Buddhist, right?
yes.
Why?
Well, in my heart, I guess I am Buddhist. I just feel it's the philosophy that
I see.
suits me.
Ah, really? Okay. How often do you come here?
I probably come, I don't know, I used to come weekly, but now perhaps once a month.
Ah, I see.
Yeah.
Okay, I heard that you have a lot of llama friends.
I do.
Okay, tell me about that.
Well, I met my dear friend Zava Damdin Lama, who has a new monastery in Dungobi province. But one of my other Lama friends has a monastery just down the road, and I met him at Terelj. There's a retreat there. It's I don't know if you know it. It's maybe 5 kilometers west of the Terelj Hotel, and I was there one day walking up the stairs, and I met him up there, and yeah, he's a darling man, and he's actually the one who gave me my my Ubov biscuits, and yeah, I go and see him. I was there with the kids last weekend.
What do you feel from this place?
I don't know.
What do you feel?
Something overcomes me. I don't know whether it's the smells. That lovely smell, you know,
Right.
the colors, and you can just,
Yeah.
it's a lot like being in a church as a kid. I remember, you know, getting bored and just looking up and seeing the stained glass windows. But here, you know, and I watch the lamas perform their rituals, you
Yeah.
can tune out and listen, but just to look around at the, you know, the mosaics, the paintings, the colors, the hats, this something that always catches my eye. You know, or
really?
the beautiful, you know, Tibetan scrolls. There's so many things I don't know about
see.
Buddhism, and every time I come, I just love learning about it. But it's a visual feast.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Do you pray here?
I do. I do pray. I wish I could say I meditated, but I don't meditate. I walk around when I spin the prayer wheels, and I know Buddhism is more of a philosophy, but I do pray as I spin the wheels, and my kids do too. I mean, I don't know if anybody's listening, but it comforts me, and it's just the rituals are so beautiful.
What do you mostly pray for?
I pray for the lives of my children. I say, I hope they're happy. I hope they.
Yeah, me
I hope they are okay in life. I think about my mother, who passed away a few years ago. I pray for my dad. I just, I don't know. It makes me feel happy when I think of everybody I love, and I especially do that when I'm here. I drive in UB, right?
Right.
And this is sort of embarrassing. I don't like to admit it, right? But I've had 7 car accidents in 4 years here. Not big ones, but little fender benders.
Oh
right?
my God, really?
So I try to keep the music down. I usually listen. I have the Lemons playing, or I don't know. I love Turmandag, Sarantuya. And as I'm driving, I'm just hoping that I don't have a bingle. Mongolian youth seem to be very apathetic about things, you know? They don't follow politics because in a way there's no point, because they feel they can't make a difference. But I hope one day, right, in time, things will change in this country, because it's so beautiful. You know, Mongolian people, so smart, so, I don't know, such a unique, beautiful culture, and I just wish the youth would fire up more and get angry about the situation here. One day.
This is Talk With Me talk show. Today's our guest is here.
Sambano, Sakenshinlere.
Baisa. Thank you, Allyson Seaborn, for coming my Talk With Me talk show.
It's good to see you.
I'm just kidding. This is joke. Everybody knows you as the host of Talk With Me talk show. So how the idea came up?
Oh, gosh. Well, I have a few friends who worked at Star TV, and they said, "What are you doing?" And I just, I wasn't doing much at the time, and it was a great opportunity. So I started the show, I don't know, over a year ago, but I haven't been working there for about 6 months. They've got a new reporter, I'm doing new things, I'm spending a lot of time writing, but it was so much fun. You know, I got to meet a lot of interesting people, go to the Hofschool Ice Festival, which was brilliant, and I had the best time.
Yeah, so how many programs did you make? And how many guests did you totally?
I don't know, I think probably about 30. 30 programs, lots of guests, ambassadors, singers. Yeah, I met so many wonderful Mongolians.
You know what, Allyson? Honestly, when I first called to my guests to invite my talk show, they always said to me that Allyson already invited me, and actually at the time I hated you.
We were in competition.
Because, you know,
Hey, but now
because at the time I saw you as my competitor. She always called my guest.
But now, Sandnads, we're gonna go karaoke.
Yeah. Okay, so Allyson, you made over 30 episodes of the Talk With Me. So you met with a lot of interesting people you mentioned. So what did you feel from them, and what did you understand from that people? About Mongolia?
Well, I met so many different kinds of people, you know, some foreigners. I met Murat Karagöz, the Turkish ambassador, who was fascinating. He taught me so much about Turkey. The ex-US ambassador Piper Campbell, Jamie Metzel, a fabulous politician from America, best-selling author. But the people who impressed me the most, who I loved speaking to the most, were the Mongolians. And I think one of my favorite guests was, I can't decide whether it was Gambalur from Sweet Emotion or Nominjin. I mean, because I love Mongolian music so much, I found that the shows that centered around music were the most exciting for me. I've got this on my shelf. I love this.
Those are for you.
Really?
Those are for your TV. You can keep it.
Thank you. And this time last year, I was with Sarantuya at the
yeah.
Chinggis Khan Hotel, and she's one of my favorite singers as well. So when I got to meet the women Mongol singers, that was brilliant. And they taught me, I don't know, big beautiful hearts, and they shared everything. So
And then wish you all the best and your children health and a lot of happiness.
Thank you.
And success in your job.
Thank you, Sarantuya.
you.
Really appreciate that. Thank you. I think they taught me not to be afraid and to chill out a bit more. One of the great words of advice that Nomenjin gave me, I used to be very nervous doing talk with me sometimes. And Nomenjin said to me, "Allison, the camera is your friend." I said, "No, really?" She said, "Yeah, just chill out." And I don't know, I wasn't very afraid after that.
Oh, really? Yeah, she's great.
She's
she
so
was also
cool.
my interviewee.
Wow.
Yeah, but before you. Okay, Allison. So, why did you resign from Star TV?
Well, I just decided that I needed to do other things. I'm sort of maybe I get bored easily. I'm in Mongolia. I wanted to travel. I wanted to write, and I just needed to explore new things.
I don't think so.
Yeah.
Did they boss it to you?
No. I mean, TV is a strange industry to be in, you know, and you get guests from all walks of life. And I just felt it was time to try other things, you know. I'm like a free agent, you know. I like doing a little bit of this, a little bit of this, and it was just time for me to go and explore other avenues. I did a stint at Universe Best Songs, UBS Music. I loved it. I got to meet Ariuna Dolgon, Mayday from Camerton. I mean, if I were to, it would be something lighthearted and fun.
Ah, okay.
Yeah.
Okay,
that's
you
fun.
also worked as a judge for Universe Best Song, right? And you
Yes.
sang there.
You know what? I've been in UB for 4 years. That was a highlight. I loved every moment, you know. I got to sing the English version of Seteglin Jigore.
Yeah, I heard
And
that.
it was brilliant. Yeah, I loved it.
Did they pay you a lot to work as a judge?
You know what? They did pay me, right? But it's one of those jobs I would pay to do it again. It's a job you would pay to do. It was an honor, you know, and meeting Bakhjav, and I just loved it. You know, that song Seteglin Jigore is beautiful. Yeah.
Intoxicating beauty light, ruby red flowers in my eyes.
And I'm seeing you as a Mongolian person. Actually, what do you really worry about Mongolia?
Oh gosh, well, there are many things that worry about me, but the positives so much outweigh the negatives. And I'm a foreigner here. I'm a guest in this country, and like all of my Mongolian friends, you know, the pollution, the politicians, the lotteries you have to enter to get your kids into a school. There are so many things that I could complain about, but it's not my place. I have no solutions. If I were a Mongolian citizen, I don't know, perhaps I could make more of a difference, but I'm not. So until that day, I just have to bite my tongue. But one of the things that really does annoy me about Mongolians, and I have to be really honest.
Yeah, sure, you have to be honest.
Is if I'm driving, right, and I park in a parking spot, I might come back an hour later and there'll be somebody who's parked me in.
Really?
Yeah. And I'm saying this jokingly a little bit. Yeah, one of the funny things is Mongolians sort of consider their cars, I guess, to be like the horses of many years ago. And so many times a week I'll come up and my car has been parked in. And it used to infuriate me, but now I know they leave their number. And if they don't leave their number, I wait.
Okay, Allyson, what do you think about Mongolian young people, young generation, and also kids? Kids, also kids who live in difficult circumstances. By your eyes, what do you think about them?
Well, I think kids in the countryside are at a definite advantage in some way. You know, they have this unique, beautiful, innocent childhood. I mean, the hoodoo, Mongol hoodoo is like it was hundreds of years ago, and you know, you don't have that technological influence. Kids aren't on Xboxes. You don't have the pollution. So I think Mongolian kids who grow up in the countryside, I don't know, I think they have a very unique advantage and beautiful lives. I know a lot of Mongolian children in the countryside, and I know it is a tough life, but I find it a beautiful life. My Mongolian friends in their 20s, and I have so many of them, because, you know, the average age is 27.
Yeah, that's true.
I feel so old, you know. But most of my friends in Mongolia are around the, I don't know, 25 to 35 age bracket, and I find many of them a little bit apathetic when it comes to politics and what's going on and how they can change Mongolia if they want to. And a lot of them have this idea that perhaps the grass is greener on the other side, you know? Let me get that visa to America, to Australia. And I know it is great, right, to go study overseas, but I don't think they realize just how wonderful this country is, you know? And I want to tell you, it's what's true. You guys are so lucky. Mongolia is amazing. And I read an article the other day in the South China Morning Post, a very an international magazine about, you know, young youth in Korea, describing it as hell. I mean, well, in terms of jobs, I mean, they work, no pay. And you would ask, Mongolians feel much the same, but Mongolians always somehow think that things might be better in Korea. And it's not, you know. And a friend of mine named Dolgun, who is a musical composer, just wrote a wonderful article in the Mongolian Observer magazine. And I agreed with everything he said. He said Mongolians, you know, think of Mongolia as like as Switzerland. They think Switzerland must be so wonderful, but really Switzerland is so much like Mongolia. You never think of it the other way around. And he talks about the people in northwest Hofskol, the Tsatan reindeer people, and how it's so pristine. And I agree with him in that the environment, the natural environment of Mongolia is so beautiful and so unlike anywhere else in the world. And I always meet Mongolians who haven't traveled and seen this country, but they're desperate to get to America. And I just wish, I mean, this is the most amazing country. It's the most beautiful country I've ever been to. And I wish Mongolians would explore Mongolia before they went overseas. Maybe they find it boring. I mean, I discovered Mongolia very late in life, so it's exciting to me.
Allyson, easy question. Why do you love Mongolia? It's not your native country, or it's not your motherland. Why you love others' country?
You know what? I asked myself this question. It's just, it tugs at my heartstrings. It reminds me of, you know, you grow up and you have these dreams of excitement and adventure. And when I came here to Mongolia, in a very strange way, my childhood dreams came true. You know, and I joke about this with my friends. Before I moved to Mongolia, you know, everybody often thinks I was like this in Australia, you know. I wasn't. I raised kids in suburbia. It was a very mundane, not terribly interesting life. And I came to Mongolia. Mongolia gave me a very wonderful, new and exciting life. I met beautiful friends. I've experienced the most amazing, unique traditions and cultures and sports. I mean, Nadam. I mean, just seeing Nadam. It blew me away. It does every year. Second saw last night. My daughter and I assembled our Ide.
You always wish that your mother was here. So
I do. I think of her when I. Sometimes, and actually it's quite often, when I'm in the countryside or looking up at the Hukhtengir or at an art gallery, you know, the Zana Bazaar art gallery, And my mother was an artist. So when I hear a beautiful song, I always wish my mom could have been here. She was a great traveler, a great writer, a great artist, and she never came here. And it's one thing, I don't know where she is or if she is, but I know that, I don't know, I wish she could be here to see this.
Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, our talk show is reaching to you from Bluefin Restaurant. Today I'm meeting with this really sexy and beautiful and crazy lady.
Oh, wow.
Okay, Allison.
Keep going.
Allison, and have a long legs and also very good writer anyway.
Yeah.
So, Allison, actually, you're not a professional journalist, right?
No.
So how did you write? I read your a lot of articles and it was so awesome, you know. I'm a professional journalist. When I read that article, wow, that's really nice. So how the talent came up?
Well, I have always loved writing stories, and my first profession, I was a lawyer in Australia, and to do law, you need to write, you need to be able to bullshit, I guess, in a lot of ways. You need to think on your feet and get things out. So I think my writing skills stem from that. My mother was a writer. When I lived in central Queensland, I started a column for a newspaper because I was a stay-at-home mom, and I used to sit at home thinking, what do? I had two small teeny-weeny kids, right? And I used to get in my room and I would write, and my friend who was the editor of a paper said, Allison, these are so funny. It was about motherhood. You must start a column. So I started that, and it became very popular. And then I don't know, you know when somebody tells you you're good at something, you want to do more?
Yes, sure.
So I wrote something very emotional, because when I write, it tends to be emotional. And that perhaps that's why I'm not a journalist, because everything I write is from my heart rather than fact.
Okay, Allison, I think that you really love Mongolian people, and most of the foreigners said that Mongolian people are very good-hearted and hospitable. You know? So, what do you think about this?
Well, it's true, especially in the countryside.
Especially in the countryside.
Yeah, I love it. Well, in Australia, America, many Western countries, if you went up to someone's house and said, I'm cold, can I come in for a cup of tea?
Yeah.
They would call the police.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah,
What? What are you doing here? In Mongolia, the times I've been in the countryside, in the middle of nowhere, and gone up and said, you know, hold your dog, as long as the bankhar is chained up. You know, you go in and people are so open and welcoming.
Yeah, very well.
Very lovely. And I also find it's very unusual, right? A lot of Mongolian friends that I have now, I'm actually the first foreigner they'd ever met. And they say, Allison, you're the first foreigner I've met. And it makes me feel so special. You know?
At the time
they're so curious too.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. And they want to practice English, and it just, in a way, I feel very lucky, you know? And maybe they're welcoming because, you know,
Allison, I think that you should feel really thankful to your husband.
I do.
Because if he didn't delegate it in Mongolia, appointed in Mongolia, you would never come here, right?
I know. I'm very lucky. I mean,
okay, let's imagine if he appointed to Thailand or Indonesia or maybe Cambodia. Would you love that country? Like Mongolia, what do you think? Let's imagine.
Honestly,
yeah, honestly,
I think I adapt well to lots of countries. I've traveled all around the world, but something is very unique about here. I don't think, honestly, I would have fallen in love with a place so easily, because I have been to Thailand and Asia, and I go there, right? I was in Hong Kong a few months ago. I couldn't wait to get out. You know, one of the things I love so much about Mongolia is the vastness. The fact that you can be somewhere and not see anybody. And I don't think I would have enjoyed living in Thailand, Cambodia, another Asian country, because I just love the wide open spaces of Mongolia.
I see.
Yeah.
So by your thinking, what makes Mongolia unique?
Totally unique, and not just the landscape, not just the vast natural beauty, but the traditions and the culture, you know, the music, the art.
Oh my God!
Yeah, I just love it. I have so many Mongolian paintings in my house that I'll show you later on.
So Allyson, thanks for inviting me in your house, and I just want to greet you by Mongolian. Zeggen ben hoor.
Oh, Sachen Haurchban. Ide Ams?
Oh my God, thanks! Thank you so much. I will taste from the arut, right?
Skoyaro.
Okay. Wow, it's so nice. Okay, Allyson, I just really like your home. I just really like your house, and I just really attracted by your lot of treasures. How did you collect all of them?
After 4 years in Mongolia, I'm going to so many amigs, I pick up little souvenirs. My favorite treasures is, of course, the tono behind you. I love the Mongolian tons. My dream is to
What are you planning to do with this?
Well, I don't know. They're so big. It's like trying to hide an elephant in the house, you know? My husband gets mad. Allison, you brought another tono home. But when I see them, my one in the kitchen is from Arhangay. This is from Narantul. I don't know. I have like an addiction, a tono addiction. I want to make that one into a light so I can see it up on the ceiling.
Oh, right. Okay. Before we show the treasures, I would like to emphasize on your really nice Mongolian traditional costume. It looks, I really like your earrings, belts, even boots.
Oh, yes,
and also these rings. And okay, please introduce your wearings to my viewers.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Well, this ring is a beautiful Mongolian ring. My dear friend Duya, who lives in New York City, designed it. And she has a beautiful store at Max Mall.
Right.
And I bought it there. This Della, a very good friend of mine, gave it to me as a present. I'm very lucky. My earrings also a gift. And my boots. I love the boots at Dunjingara.
You traveled around 20 amics around Mongolia, so how could you collect all of these treasures? Okay, for example, what is this?
This, I did not kill a reindeer. This is the top of a beautiful reindeer antler. And these fall out naturally. And I love it because it's very soft. You can still feel the velvet on it.
Where did you find it?
Well, this is from Hofskol. I was up there a couple of years ago in the East Tag. I went up by myself on a horse. Gansara Busby, jogging out, so 12 hours getting up to the East Tiger.
Oh my God!
It was exhausting. It was
Hey Allyson, when you were in Hoofschool, I heard that you treat the toothache of one shaman.
Yes,
Is it true?
it is
So
true.
tell me about that.
Well, it's a little bit ironic and it's a sort of a funny story. You know, it's very cold up there, very remote. And I wouldn't say I had a great time. I would say I had a really interesting time. It isn't a place in Mongolia I could stay for too long because it is so remote. It was so cold. Lots of wolves up there. And people live such an isolated existence. So I only stayed for 2 nights. But when I was there, the shaman up there, who's a woman, came with a horrible, horrible toothache. And I'm thinking, but this is the shaman, she should, you'd think shaman would know what to do. I don't know a lot about shamanism. But I found myself rummaging through my bag and I'm finding antibiotics and my Panadol. And I found the best painkiller I could. I gave it to her. I gave her my bracelet and I said, I hope your toothache goes away. And I just found it wonderfully ironic and, I don't know, just nice that I was able to help this woman with what little supplies I had. But it was such an experience up there.
That looks. What is that? Wow, it looks so cute.
It's just a very.
Is it? It makes of wood, right? It makes of wood.
And I love that wherever I go in Mongolia, there are always beautiful hand carved.
Actually, honestly, from my heart, I'm really proud of you to love my country. Okay, please, at the end of the talk show, please look at that camera and you can say whatever you want to your friends, to your colleagues, to your family members. It's free to you.
That thing to do, that sort of scares me, but I'm going to try. Hartai, and I hope I meet many of you in the years to come. And thank you for welcoming into your country. Баярлалаа.
I really want to appreciate all of my thanks to on behalf of all Mongolians, and please keep love Mongolia, okay? It was really nice to have you, Allison. Okay. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, it was the Mongols' first English entertainment talk show named Inspired by ZAYA. Гадаад хүнтэй уулзсан чи гинт монголоор ярмаар санагдаад явчлаа шүү. Бидний төрсэн их нутгийг гадны хүн ингэж хайрлаж хахад залуучууд бид яагаад эх орныхаа сайхныг мэдэрч чаддгүй юм бэ? Бид энэ эх орноо баатарлаг түүхтэд бүхэл сайхан баялагтай хайрлах ёстой шүү дээ. Залуучууд би чадна гэсэн өвөг дээдсийнхаа тэрэл сайхан үзэл төлөвшлөөр энэ насныхаа бүх баялагийг бүтээж эх орныхаа ирээдүйн хөгжлийн төлөө хамтдаа нэгэн зүрхээр зүтгэцгээе. See you next time, guys.
Only.
Oh my god. Сайхан аварж байна уу?
Сайхан аварж байна.
Okay, tell me about this snuff bottle.
I have many snuff bottles, but this is my favorite. And oh god, this could bring on a. All right. Have I got it on my face?
Yeah, okay.
Oh no!
Oh my god, what is this? Is it a knife or?
These are 500 to 900-year-old arrowheads that the Mongols used to use in battle. And they, I mean, local herders, ninja miners, malching. I mean, the countryside of Mongolia is littered with these treasures. So that is.
It looks so vintage.
It looks so 70s. Who else in the world has a carved Tsatan reindeer antler? I mean, you can get any touristy, I don't know.